Hello and welcome back to Olean, New York for Heiser Media's coverage of the 2024 Mid-Atlantic Collegiate Championship presented by MVP Disc Sports. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Jesse Longenecker and Alexis Kerman. We've got 9 holes left in this team round of this collegiate tournament. Liberty University, red team leading the way with a 3 under par. Front 9, that is the team of Tim Schmidt, Jonah Burdock, Addison Sells, and Grayson Lifto. And we have Slippery Rock Green also on the card, shooting 1 down on the front 9. That team of Jonathan West, Cameron McFeely, Samuel Wilson, and Eric Baumgartner. As we take a look at the rest of the leaderboard here.
It's a tight race. It's going to be a very exciting back 9. You can see that we have some tied seconds and tied fourths, not too far off the lead of the 7 under round from Liberty University Red. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, should be an exciting finish here as we start to take a look at hole 10. Jesse, what are we looking at here?
We are looking at a short par 3, one of the easiest holes in the course, about 313 feet, but it plays a little bit shorter than that. You're going to see a lot of people throwing right-handed hyzers into the green, a lot of putters. Definitely want to get this one in the team round.
If you missed our front 9 coverage, we went over our very unique collegiate team format. So we've got our Liberty Red team teeing off first, and within our team of 4 players, we have our odd and even pair. So on hole 10, we've got Addison Sells and Tim Schmidt for Liberty Red teeing off first, and they'll tee off on every even hole throughout the round. So now we have Slippery Rocks even pair, Jonathan West teeing off first here. And then next up we have Cameron McFeely also taking that backhand route.
Mapping nicely, skipping up well inside the circle. Teams will have the choice of the better of the 2 drives to go with, as you would in a best shot doubles format. And we'll flip over to the odd pair. Here for Liberty, we have Jonah Burdock with the putt, looking to bend this one around the tree.
Ooh, gives it some good height there. I like that run.
Yeah, just a bit high. See if his partner, Grayson Lifto, can make the adjustment.
Yeah, like I said, that one's gonna sting. This is definitely one of the easier holes on the course. You can see the 2.4 average. Uh-oh. Oh, that's why you got the second putter, I guess, in the team format.
Yeah, so luckily Samuel Wilson can pick up his partner, taps in that birdie. So no harm, no foul for Slippery Rock, getting a stroke back on Liberty. As will a lot of the field here, so things going to tighten up with Liberty dropping a stroke. Not really dropping a stroke, but just having to settle for the par. As Addison taps that one in. And we're heading to hole 11.
Hole 11 is one of the tougher holes in the course. It's par 3, about 360 feet. This one's tough to get the ceiling right. You're going to see a lot of people disking up to be able to get that distance on a lower line.
Yeah, as we're coming into this back 9 and the scores are really tightening up here, Jesse, you played for Eastern Mennonite. Do you feel like the team as a whole starts to feel that pressure in these last 9 holes?
Yeah, definitely. Some individual players are different about checking scores or what they do for that, but I think there's definitely a shared sense of pressure as holes start to run out. While throughout a tournament, each shot all means the same, I think towards the end, their worth becomes a little bit more evident, and you can see that in the scores.
Definitely, yeah, that's some good insight into this team format. I think, although it feels like some pressure gets taken off because you have 4 players, you really still only have 2 shots per um, lie, whether that's the 2 tee shots or 2 putts or 2 approaches. So everyone's still got to be on throughout every hole.
Good long run there for Slippery Rock, just a bit off. So you'd think that McFeely would have the go-ahead to give this one a run. Catches a late tree for him, so no birdie for Slippery Rock. Liberty with a chance to get that stroke back that they lost on the last hole. And
Addison does it.
yeah, great birdie putt.
And then Slippery Rock gets their par, and we'll move on to hole 12.
Hole 12, as you can see, it's a bit of a tight gap off the tee. You're going to see a lot of people throwing short forehands for the right-handers, or just a straight putter out of the gap. There's a little bit of a slope up to the basket, which is hidden behind a big tree in the distance there. Definitely when you want to get this one kind of sandwiches a hard hole in 11 with 10.
Addison with Liberty Red throwing a forehand out the gap, just like you talked about, Jesse. And it looks like his partner, Tim, is throwing the backhand. Laces that middle gap.
I hope he was trying that.
I know.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
Has to be intentional, right?
That's the ace run. That's, when your partner's parked, you got to send it, right? So
I think something interesting we see there too is Addison is very forehand dominant while Tim prefers his backhand. And so I'm sure, Jesse, you can kind of talk about how you pair up within the teams of 4 here.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I know for the team that I played on, for my team, we tried to look at the holes that we would have strengths over, or holes that we would favor, and tried to line up in a way that made it so we would be playing those holes. Because in the team format, sometimes it can be a while before you really throw a shot. You can kind of, if your teammates park a hole, then you just really have a tap in, and you're really not throwing a shot on that hole. So it's important to be able to line up to your strengths.
It looks like your team is playing well to their strengths. Hot round right now at 7 under par for Eastern Mennonite. Looking good. Ohio University also making a good push.
I think the Black Hole Pro is the best practice basket I ever had at home.
I think the Black Hole Pro is a great practice basket.
I think the Black Hole Pro is one of the best teaching tool putting baskets that there is.
What I love most about this basket is that it catches really well.
Its chains are very solid for catching. They have a good heft to them.
It's pretty lightweight. You can put it in the back of your car easily.
If you're looking for a great solution for a practice basket and you don't want to break the bank, Black Hole Pro.
Hole 13, we have our first par 4 of the back 9 and of the course. This one's tighter gap off the tee. There's a lot of space out to the right side. And then sort of a tricky approach with this blind bottom of the basket. You kind of have to get it over this little ridge with a couple guardian trees.
Most important thing on this hole, make sure you hit this initial gap. Get yourself out in that fairway with a chance to get up and down. Not too much distance there, but into the clearing for Liberty. So step one accomplished, and now we'll see if they decide to get a little bit more aggressive here as Jonah lines up his shot. Similar result.
Now we've got Eric with Slippery Rock teeing off. See if he can get the distance they're looking for. Looks like they do get out the gap with some distance. Out to the right there, Jesse, is that kind of looking at the pin or?
Yeah, so that's a great spot to end up. You're going to see a lot of people throw like kind of a turnover out of this gap because it makes it as large as you can. As we see done perfect here by Sam, and they're going to have an excellent look at the basket there.
Great shots by Slippery Rock, and now we've got Liberty's approach shots from their even teammates.
Coming up a bit short for Addison, but we'll be putting from about 30 feet or so. See if Tim can improve on that. This looks a bit wider. See if it has that late swing. Bit deep, but pretty similar result.
Jonathan West putting a hyzer, gets stuck behind that tree, but has this crazy roll out there, so it looks like they'll have an open putt, but we'll see if Cameron can get closer here. Looks like it is wider as well, and definitely closer. Nice shot by Cameron.
Yeah, so some circle edge putts for Liberty here to keep their birdie streak alive. That was a nice smooth putt there. Nicely done from Jonah, knocking it down. Little turkey for Liberty, getting them a little bit of separation now, at least from Slippery Rock.
Definitely starting to catch some momentum into the finishing stretch. Hole 14, par 3, 241 feet. One thing about this hole that's unique is there's a Mando off the tee forcing you to throw a very straight shot. One thing to note, there's OB long, so you're going to want to check up the disc quick after you make the gap.
Slightly early release for Addison. Puts him on the left side of the fairway. So important shot here. Going down the hyzer gap. That leaks long into the out of bounds. So Liberty not really with a good birdie chance. And the door's back open for Slippery Rock to make up some ground.
Now sit. Yeah.
Great shot by Cameron. Just basically parks the basket for Slippery Rock there.
Yeah,
Feels
especially
Go
in
ahead.
doubles, that 15-footer is good as in.
Yeah, I really felt like it was really good team play. You know, I think we saw Cameron had the confidence to lace his gap because he knew Jonathan was inbounds. So some good morale there when you can see a teammate make a shot you need.
Yeah, so they're able to tap in that birdie. Bit of a back and forth, back nine going on here. A nice tight battle. Jesse, seems like the back nine scored a little bit easier than the front on this course.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a number of the holes on the front nine are in the woods, a little bit tougher. This back nine stretch has a few more park-style golf holes with some more attackable lines, as we see on hole 15. This also has a Mando, forcing players to almost do a skip shot with a right-hand backhand, or try to air one out, as we see here. One thing to note, there's OB in that yellow posted area, and that is a perfect shot.
Yeah, wow, that was very well thrown. Really pushing the ceiling there from Slippery Rock, and just absolutely perfect height and distance control. Great shot as well from Sam Wilson, but they won't be needing it after the park job from, I believe it was Eric Baumgartner.
And that's that Mando tree right there. So Liberty's going to want to hit this one to ensure a birdie look.
Jonah swinging it wider there. Let's see if it can skip. I think that's a little far from the pin there. Still a putt, but a long one.
Yeah, definitely seemed like he was playing it safer there just to make sure they were in bounds with a chance. Good effort, but a little bit short for Addison Sells there. See if Tim Schmidt can pick his teammate up from deep circle 2. Unable to connect, so Slippery Rock now with the park job going to make up yet another stroke and tie things up with Liberty at the top. 10 under par. We got a ball game, folks.
We
Yeah,
sure
how quickly
do.
things change.
Definitely makes it very exciting, and I think this team format keeps it that exciting for sure. We've got another look at our leaderboard here, and you can just see how tight these scores are. Eastern Mennonite at 11 under and close behind are tied seconds.
Just the way it goes.
Heading into the final 3 holes here. Hole 16 is one of the tougher gets on the course. A fairly tight gap off the tee up to this kind of bold green with Aubin on the right hand side. Main focus here is hitting the gap, getting one out there.
Bit of a high release, but it does get through. So probably in the 70-80 foot range for Slippery Rock. And an early tree hit there for McFeely. So Liberty now with another chance to get back on top.
Addison just didn't get the push and hit his line out of that he wanted to with his forehand. Tim laces the line here. Let's see if it can get a skip forward. Oh, right at the pin. Perfect.
Huge shot there for Liberty.
It's that swing.
Yeah. Momentum shifting back in their favor. Slippery Rock. One more long bid. Ooh, smooth stroke there for Eric, but coming up a bit short. So Liberty going to jump back in front by a stroke, as we saw in the scoreboard check-in before the break. Eastern Mennonite at 11 under par right now. So that is the mark these teams are trying to get to with just 2 holes left.
As we head into hole 17, the second par 4 on the course. Starting out with a bit of a gap, you're going to see people throwing a left to right shaping shot. One thing to note, there's OB on the left side the whole way up, getting tighter to the basket as we go. And the second shot into the greens, you're going to see a lot of right-handed forehands.
That's good.
Bit of disbelief from Grayson there, just pulled his shot a bit. So pressure now moves over to Jonah. Needs to hit this gap. Oh, in the same tree.
All right.
Tough break for Liberty.
See if we'll have a momentum shift again with Eric lacing a backhand down the fairway here. Is that a good spot there, Jesse?
Yeah, that's going to be a great spot. It's a little bit far back, but I think they're going to like that.
Yeah, similar result there for Sam Wilson. So options for slippery rock. Liberty going to have to make up some ground. Important scramble shot here just to make some progress back up the fairway and put them back in position a little bit high for Addison Sells. So very important shot here for Tim. It's going to have to beat some branches a little high.
Yeah.
Fought through a lot right there.
Yeah, good result. So that should put them back in position to save the par. But Slippery Rock in a great spot here. Need to give themselves a birdie look.
Looks like
Yeah, their drive was even a little bit further up than what I thought. So should be a gettable approach. That first one, riding the left side OB line. And this correction is very nice, leaving them with the circle's edge putt.
Yeah, a couple options. This is even a runnable upshot here for Liberty. Kind of an awkward ceiling to work with. You see they're going to have to try to go out and around or even over the top. Not a bad approach. Jonah looking like he's lining up a jump putt. A little bit of Annie.
Oh my gosh.
Off the top. What a run.
What a run.
Wow, that would have been an absolutely huge putt to knock down. Get them to 12, but just a bit off. So Slippery Rock with a chance to tie it up.
See, Eric missed his putt. Let's see if Sam can get his. And he does. What a putt. Great birdie for them to pick up another stroke on Liberty here on hole 17.
Yeah, clutch putt there. You could see with
Very
the fist
nice.
pump and the reaction from the team. They know where these scores are at. They know what they need to do here down the stretch to keep themselves in it. So we are tied at the top heading into our final hole of regulation.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things about college disc golf is celebrating those moments as a team, not just individually. Hole 18, left side OB with those yellow posts with the basket is straight ahead. You're going to see a lot of people throwing hyzers out to the right side, or even some people who are feeling risky throwing big turnovers of forehands over the OB.
I'll get him more left than that.
Safe shot right there, keeping it wide. End up in deep circle 2, so let us see if Cameron can improve on that lie. This one is looking good if it stays in bounds.
Looks like it just trickled OB.
Brutal result for Slippery Rocks. They are going to have to go with the farther drive, or farther putt, I should say.
And that's the one tree you have to miss. It comes into play for backhands that are thrown a little bit too wide. Pretty nice shot for Addison, but catching that tree.
So important shot for Tim here. Looks like it's on a good line, but is going to contend with that same tree and just catches the branches, dropping him down short. So a bunch of deep putts coming up. If these guys are looking at the leaderboard, 11 under par is the number. So any of these putts go in, they will have the lead and potentially the win. A bit off on the first putt for Slippery Rock, but they've got one more look at it.
Something we didn't really touch on, but I'm sure they're feeling a lot of pressure when they look at that leaderboard here on 18, because at these regional events they're competing for bids to the national championships in April. So every putt and stroke really does matter in the end, especially for you have 3 D1 bids and 6 D2 bids. So the scores do matter, and I'm sure they are feeling that pressure here.
So Slippery Rock unable to connect to Liberty now. 2 looks at it for the win from 50 feet. First one just a bit off there from Jonah. So Grayson, one last chance for Liberty to give them the victory here, or we head to a playoff. Unable to connect. So both of these teams, pending these tap-in pars, are going to finish their rounds at 11 under. And like I mentioned, that was the number to beat. So we will take a look here in a second at who else will be joining them in this playoff. Like Alexis said, keep in mind 3 D1 bids on the line. So let's take a look at that final leaderboard.
Yeah, we can see here we have a 5-way tie between Ohio, Eastern Mennonite, Liberty University White, Liberty University Red, and then Slippery Rock Green team. All at 11 under going into this playoff for the first through third place awards.
Yeah, crazy stuff. A 5-way playoff, and there's 4 players on each team. So we got 20 guys right now that are all on hole 16, hoping to give their teams a chance at the win. Ohio University leading things off with an absolute park job. What a clutch shot to start off this playoff. Same format, so we're just doing collegiate doubles back and forth. This is another shot from Ohio. Good shot as well, but it is not going to matter. So they have the birdie. Now we head over to Eastern Mennonite. Going to need to birdie this one to stay in it.
Stays in bounds. Barely, but it is in bounds. Now we've got you up here, Jesse. Also taking the backhand line.
What are you going with here, Jesse? Fairway driver?
Yeah, I'm throwing a leopard here and just turned it over a little bit too much. I don't know if there's a headwind out there or if adrenaline from the playoff gave me a little extra juice, but flipped that one over OB.
The hype of just 20 people on your card was a lot, right?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience and very exciting.
All right, so EMU will have a longer look thanks to your teammate, Jesse, who was able to put it right around circle's edge. This is the Liberty White team, not to be confused with the team we've been following this round. Leaking their first shot a bit off, or actually the second shot there, leaking a bit off to the left, so they will have a long putt as well as we catch up with our friends from Slippery Rock that we've been following all around. We've got Eric Baumgartner here going to be going first. A bit of a high release, but it gets through.
Samuel Wilson hits that early tree, but that's okay because Eric had gotten out there. And now we're back with our Liberty Red team. Addison Sells also kind of hits that first clump of trees. Let's see if Tim can get out the gap and get to the basket for them. Ooh. Misses
Pulls it
that
a
tree.
bit. But a
Nice
great
shot.
shot from Tim. Puts it close. That should be good for a birdie. So 2 teams very close. 3 teams with longer looks at it. Liberty White up first from the rough. Out in circle 2.
This is sudden death, so any team that does not match the best score will not move on to the next hole.
So Liberty White needing to make this putt to stay alive in the playoff. And just a bit off, so they are most likely eliminated, with the other 2 teams very close. As we cut over, this is Eastern Mennonite, correct, Jesse?
Correct. This is Beckham Jancy, a lefty, junior, and a very good putter. But was not able to connect on this one, leaving it just a hair short. So this is Theo Andreas stepping up.
Yeah, from about 50 feet. Pressure on, needing to make this one to keep Eastern Mennonite in it after a great 10 under par team round. Just a bit low as well. So Eastern Mennonite unfortunately out in all likeliness of this playoff. Now we cut over to Slippery Rock with a long look and just off the top of the basket for Jonathan Wess. So the pressure moves over to his teammate, who is unable to connect as well. So Slippery Rock out of the playoff. This is absolutely wild. I don't know if I've ever seen a 5-person playoff, nonetheless a 5-team playoff that we're seeing here. Liberty Red knocks it down, and we're about to see a tap in from Ohio Black. The 2 teams make the birdie. Both teams will be moving on to hole 17. Wow, that was some wild stuff.
That's exciting. That is wild. It's definitely unique, and it's really cool to see all these teams that have all these players competing in college disc golf at these regionals. So it's a very exciting way to end this tournament here.
While we have 2 teams moving on to playoff for first place, there were still 3 Division I bids on the line, so there's 3 teams that battled it out for that. But here we have Liberty Red and Slippery Rock moving on to hole 17 to continue their playoff for the first place prize.
Yeah, back to the par 4 uphill. Liberty with a nice correction off of the drives we saw earlier during regulation. Puts that one in the middle of the fairway. Great shot from Grayson Lifto. Now Jonah Burdock going to go with the forehand, pulls that one a bit to catch the tree. So they will be going with that first drive.
We've actually got Ohio University who made it through here, and we have on the team is Sage Brewer, Micah Andrews, Keller Foltz, and Cohen Maynard.
Yes, excuse me, Ohio University.
There was a lot of people on that tee, so a lot to keep track of there.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you said, Jesse, both of these teams now will be guaranteed that D1 bid. We are just playing off for the first place prize in this tournament. As we see a great drive from Ohio, that is going to put them in great position. The other 3 teams that are playing off for the final D1 spot, we did not catch that on coverage, but we'll fill you in with the final results of that after this. Liberty up first now with their upshot. Got to put this one close. A bit of OB on the left-hand side of the fairway, so got to keep it in bounds as well.
Looks like Addison throws a very beautiful forehand, leaves them about 18-foot putt there.
Yeah, maybe worth giving this a little run.
Yeah, Tim can do something special here.
Love it, Tim. Let's go.
Got even closer, so they'll take that all day.
Yeah, tap in birdie coming up for Liberty, so pressure back on to Ohio. Had a great drive, just a nice stable putter, most likely into the green. That one coming up a bit short, right around that 30-foot range. See if they can improve on it. This looks great.
Really nice flex forehand approach there by Ohio.
Yeah, they're just left with this short putt, 12, 15 foot or something like that. Little Sexton flip. Drops it in.
Love it.
So a couple of birdies for both teams after Liberty taps this one in. And this playoff is going to continue as we head back to hole 18. We will play 16 through 18 on a loop until there is a winner here. So hole 18, here we go. Ohio with the box.
Can it hang on? It's a great look. Just squeaked OB.
Yeah, that left side OB becoming a problem for these players. This shot is a bit high. It's going to have to settle. Oh, and both shots out of bounds. So par at best for Ohio. If Liberty can put this one close, it will be all over.
That takes some huge pressure off these Liberty guys' shoulders. Just knowing to put one in bounds gives them a chance.
Oh, and Addison does. He absolutely bases the pin. That was beautiful.
Hits the pole. And this shot is just for show for Tim Schmidt. Can do whatever he wants. It's not going to matter because Liberty is absolutely parked for the win. And with both drives from Ohio out of bounds, they are going to be able to tap this one in for the victory. What a great battle we saw in this playoff. And congrats to the team, the red team from Liberty University, for taking down this Mid-Atlantic Collegiate Championship. As we send it back down to Rich Longer, the TD of this event, to congratulate our winners.
All right, let's give it up for your 2024 Mid-Atlantic Regional Champions, Liberty University! Go, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Kerman. Right there. Right there. Yes.
Wow, what an exciting back nine. What an exciting playoff. That is something you don't see at your normal disc golf event. It was great to see Liberty Red take the win there at 12 under, I guess, but we can see our leaderboard here, and kind of like we mentioned, there was another playoff going on for that last D1 bid against Eastern Mennonite and Slippery Rock, and Eastern Mennonite came out with the win. So congrats to them for earning their D1 bid to Nationals.
Yes, well deserved. Thank you to Elevation Disc for supporting this coverage, and thanks to all of you for watching. We appreciate your support. Thanks to Alexis and Jesse for joining me in the booth. I'm Nathan Johnson. Make sure to subscribe to Heiser Media's YouTube channel for more disc golf coverage coming your way, and we'll see you next time.